Olympic champions. Ivan hoping to follow in his dad's footsteps.
There's Brian Orser, used to skate in that era too, and he's watching over one of his prize students, Yuzuru Hanyu. The men's short program still ahead. Journey continues for Virtue and Moyer, and how about the odyssey of this young man? He has become a superstar in front of our eyes. Yuzuru Hanyu, the Olympic gold medalist, world champion, who now trains, of course, with Brian Orser in Canada. There you go. Patrick Chan getting ready as well for 2K16-17 Chan. Brian Williams with a conversation with Canada's champion.
As you sit here, we watched the Patrick Chan piece together. Can you put yourself in his position? I mean, this is not easy, talking about stepping it up.
No, it's not. I mean, these young guys are coming up. They're a whole other generation that have seen quads that to them, it's just the normal thing. Back when I started, it was very new. It was the pioneering time, you know, and it was like the 4-minute mile. As soon as someone did it, then more guys were doing it. So for me to push that envelope and break through that, it was tough. But then as people saw that it can be done, these young guys are taking that and looking at when they were 5-6 years old, seeing quads was just a normal thing. And it's all about the evolution in the brain. If you think you can do it and see it, you'll be able to do it.
Thank you. Backstage, there is Patrick Chan. He will go against the great Hanyu in the background from Japan, back with Skate Canada right after this.
In a word, wow!
That is what you want to see.
Patrick Chan and Yuzuru Hanyu head-to-head here.
Yuzu is skating to music by Prince. He will be going for 2 quads in his program, 1 quad loop, and he was the first to land it. He did that recently in Montreal at the Autumn Classic.
Again, with the order the way it is this year, we're going to see 2 best skaters in the field in the first group.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they rethink this.
They will rethink it, I guarantee. I guarantee they will.
Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, Chan and Hanyu, 5 and 6 in this first group. Then the second group to come. Well, we talked about crazy. You know what has been crazy is how the bar has been raised so high in skating with the quadruple jump. We saw Elvis Stojko with Brian Williams. He and Kurt Browning, those were the guys that started the quad, and Elvis took it to another level, and now you've got to have an arsenal of about 4 quads.
Yes, you do. And, you know, top of the game is 2 quads in the short program and 3 in the free, but skaters are getting more ambitious, adding 4 and 5 quads in a free skate. But at the end of the day, you can only push it so far technically without losing something more artistically. And that's the challenge. And that's what Patrick Chan hopes to keep in this sport of figure skating, the blend. And there's a look at his triple axel as he warms up. The blend between superior skating skills and artistry and positions, as well as the quads. And what happens when you do a lot of quads, Rod, especially if you don't have a lot of experience doing them, takes a long time to set them up. So the skaters will skate in a straight line on 2 feet. It's sort of, they go into a holding pattern and do the quad. Yuzuru Hanyu does them out of nowhere. He can do the quads out of footwork, and that really differentiates the men from the boys. I talked earlier about watching Patrick Chan yesterday in practice, adding a quad salchow to his repertoire. I have never seen him do that before. I haven't even seen him try it. He landed some beautiful ones, and what that said to me is he's a player going forward. After last season, I wouldn't have thought so, because you need the 2 quads to control your destiny, the 2 different quads. You can only repeat 1 quad twice. So successful on the quad there, a little bit forward on the landing.
Well, this guy can...
There's the quad loop out of a spread eagle.
Jump with the very best of them. pressure on the rest of the world, of course, with that quad jump. But of course, Patrick Chan is an exquisite skater. Men's short program from Skate Canada International is next. Absolutely sold right out today, tomorrow, full house, jam-packed at the Hershey Center, home of the Mississauga Steelheads Ontario Junior Hockey League, and also the Toronto Raptors 905 basketball team plays here. And over the next 2 days, some of the best skaters in the world, including the guy you'd have to consider the #1 skater in the world, Yuzuru Hanyu, defending Olympic champion, a world champion. Here's a guy who would love to get back to the Olympic Games and go for a gold medal again.
Javier Fernandez would have something to say about that, because he did win the World Championships the last 2 times. And those are the people that Patrick Chan has talked about being after. Yuzuru Hanyu, Javier Fernandez, and then of course there's the youngsters coming up with the quad, and Yuzuru paying respect to the ice. And he will go walk through his program, followed by Coach Brian Orser.
Total's not going to be what he wants. This is a guy who can rack him up every single second he skates. Yuzu still to skate. Yuzuru Hanyu from Mississauga.
He wasn't jittery like last year in this short.
No, work to do, obviously, but a good start. But here is the rub. This guy, Yuzuru Hanyu. And watch the Japanese flags fly here. There are so many Japanese skating fans in Mississauga. Japanese media. There are a lot of Japanese skaters here. Make no mistake, they're all here to see this guy.
He is brilliant. And this piece, Let's Go Crazy, again choreographed by Jeff Buttle, music of Prince. In Montreal at the Autumn Classic, he received an 88 for the short program.
He is such a brilliant skater. The issue that we all have in sports is when you're the king, we expect perfection. And guess what? Yuzuru Hanyu is human.
Yeah, it's about timing for him and how he's feeling, but high risk in what he was trying out there. With risk comes reward, but you know, we saw the downside of going after the quads in this short program. He believes it's necessary to challenge himself and to push the sport, and we've seen him land those jumps easily. We've got another flight to come when we come back to Mississauga.
Well, there's a lot of cleanup here. Yuzuru Hanyu, normally when he's around, will need a truck to get all of his gifts.
A lot of the competitions in Japan now, they just don't allow flowers because it slows down the shows or the competition. There's a look at Yuzuru with his coach, Brian Orser.
You know, he has been anointed as this great skater, but you know what's been proven in the past too is that when he's off and he has an off night and he has an off program like he did with the quads early on, he is beatable.
Yeah, he just, well, anybody is really, and anybody can have an off night. And to his credit, he's pushing himself and the sport, and has since he's won the Olympic gold medal. He just didn't feel right in that quad sow, and he needed it. He opened it up, but watch this axle, straight as a pencil, beautiful, easy rotation, difficult edges going into that jump and coming out, ties it in. You know, to his credit, what he's doing for this sport and how he's delivered, landing the quad loop and pushing himself.
Olympic champion in Sochi, the world champion, 4-time Japanese champion. Will turn 22 in December, has done so much for this game.
He really held on with the second half of that program too, delivering the triple axel, level 4s, steps and spins.
Let's see how it relates to Patrick Chan. 90.56 to beat. He is not going to get there. And Yuzuru Hanyu in second place. And I know it's not an excuse, but it could be for Patrick and for Yuzu. They're not used to skating in a first flight in this situation.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know how much that comes into play, Rod. I really don't. These guys are prepared. They're ready for this. I just think it's, you know what? It's the nerves of the day for
Early
Yuzuru
season.
Hanyu. It's early season. It's expectation. A beautiful skate by Patrick Chan, and he's got a huge lead going into the free skate over the Olympic champion.
One flight to come. Wonder, I mean, it could be. But Hanyu certainly, I'll tell you what, he's not used to going home this early.
Oh, and he has a teammate that's still to come, Takehito Mura, who won this event a couple of years ago.
Yuzuru Hanyu looks like an NBA player just after he finished and was pulled in the fourth quarter, sitting in second place and sitting with some ice on his shin, and it looks like the top of his feet. We'll try to get an update on that. Yuzuru Hanyu. And he's looking at that saying, that's the kind of night he had.
Please welcome.
And he'll say that's well deserved. He's a wonderful team player, Yuzuru.
Yuzuru Hanyu, who will be fourth heading into the free skate tomorrow. That is almost shocking on both sides. Hanyu is fourth, certainly capable of winning gold tomorrow. Here we had
kind of,
you know, the two stars, Patrick Chan and Yuzuru Hanyu, who had to skate early and then maybe kind of sucked the life out of the building a little bit too, not only because, well, Patrick fell off his axle, and
right.
Yuzu was not the Yuzu that we're used to.
He really struggled. What worries me with Yuzuru was last year at Skate Canada when he got beaten by Patrick, he went back home and added a second quad into his short program, and from there went on to break the world records in his next two competitions. So who knows what he's going to answer back with this one, but at this moment for Yuzuru, very disappointing. Neither of the quads were firing tonight. Patrick Chan, on the other hand, really had a terrific skate.
We'll see in the free skate. Then Hanyu, I think everybody here expected much, much more.
Well, and Yuzuru expects it of himself, and he delivers it in training. He just wasn't on his game, and
this guy is so good to see when an athlete can recover from that. They're waiting for the start order for tomorrow. They will draw that. And again, we'll see if it's one of the things is Hanyu's going to go early. He's going to go
in the final flight.
In the final flight.
In the final, that's all right.
But ahead of Patrick Chan and ahead of everybody else, and he could put a big number up.
Yeah, he could.
Wow. Day one's complete. Brian Williams will wrap it up when we come back.
Back live at the Hershey Center, Mississauga, Ontario. There's Patrick Chan in the background. He is awaiting the draw for the final flight tomorrow. On the left, that is Yuzuru Hanyu. Big surprise, he is fourth. On the right, that's his teammate Takehito Mura, who is currently second after the short program. Just